fantasy stuff, which is one of my favorite things to read, is arguably junk food books if you talk to a book junkie. And yet it was not TV. So it was an improvement. So that's one thing that really helped me in my life. I didn't intentionally say, yes, I'm going to remove TV from my life. It just happened. And then I haven't looked back. Even though I'm trying to binge watch a particular series on Netflix, I don't have that ability anymore. I like watch a couple episodes and then I'm like, okay, got to go do something else. Peculiar, yes, but that's me. Another thing, just like not even a week ago, my iPad stopped working. And I was like, man, like now that group I was in with that game, like they're gonna like kick me from it and they're gonna be like, hey, where'd Benjamin go? Um, and then I thought about it, I'm like, I had the excuse of having the iPad for business stuff. When was the last time I used it for that? Okay, I can wait a while before repairing this. I can let those habits die and then I can repair it. Okay, yeah. And I've spent so much more time improving myself and being with my wife, not spending 2 hours a day on that game. Because yeah, I was. Even just like a week or two ago. And I'm like being aware of this as I'm doing it. I'm like, man, 2 hours a day, like that's a lot. And then my iPad just breaks. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do something else. And I've done a lot more personal development stuff. I've been studying books like Think and Grow Rich, I've been listening to people like Bob Proctor and doing a lot better things than just playing a game. Ultimately, not playing it now hasn't affected my life in any negative way. So yeah. So that's
I did
one thing.
something, yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, Benjamin, for you on the second one, I did something similar. I want to track how much time I was spending on social media, Instagram specifically.
Mm-hmm. I
And
remember you sharing this story on my
yeah,
podcast.
absolutely. And for those listening, 3 hours, 3.5 hours a day. So, but you don't realize where the time is going. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because it's so important to pay attention to some of the things that we're doing that's just wasting our time. So, what other tips would you give someone who's looking to spread out the day? Because 24 hours, when you really think about it, it's a lot of time.
It is and it isn't. It really depends on where you're coming from. If you're working towards something, all of a sudden you're like, wait, I need more time in the day. If you're not working towards something, you're just like, 5 hours here too. Yeah, whatever. It's like, no biggie. Okay. YouTube and chill, Netflix and chill. You just sit here, I got my soda pop, my chips, or maybe you have your health food and you're watching it, whatever. um, so certainly one thing is um, assess your use of technology and really be honest with yourself. Are you okay with that? I never really got to the point where I gave myself a moment of, hey, are you actually okay with this? I was just, starting to get more and more, should probably be doing something else. And then the opportunity presented itself. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do something else. I'm not using the iPad right now, it's broken. The second thing, and I would put this before the first one in priority, but saying it second, so it can't be first in that order, is figure out what you actually desire. Really just hone out and list out, what do I actually desire in a year, in 5 years, in 3 years? What would I want my life to look like? And this is where you get a little bit unrealistic. You get a little bit unpractical. You're just like, if I was talking what I actually deep down in the bottom recesses of my heart, in the deep down bottom recesses of my soul, in the deep down bottom recesses of my mind, what do I actually want my life to look like? And you get it detailed. I mean, sure, maybe you start with a list of Well, yeah, I want to be able to go out to eat at this particular restaurant weekly with my significant other. Maybe I want a significant other. Maybe I want to actually feel like I'm in love with my significant other again. Maybe, I want to have this particular thing or that car, live in this particular place. Maybe I want my schedule to be, yeah, I'm only working 4 hours a day because that's the kind of money I'm pulling in. And I'm not stressed about money. Maybe I am confident in my financial well being that I could go and, just all of a sudden book a trip to Tahiti and be chill with it, take the days off work even. Whatever it looks like for you. Some of those things relate to what I want and others don't. I don't even know what is in Tahiti other than an island. But that one is actually very powerful because, like I just said a moment ago, 24 hours can seem like so much time or it can seem like so little time. If you're working towards something like achieving your dream, all of a sudden, wow, I need to focus. I don't have an infinite amount of time here on this earth. I've only got, 110 years max, most likely, 100 years most likely. And those days tick by. I mean, I'll do some more math right here. If we were talking, life expectancy, I choose to ignore those numbers because I like to just choose how long I'll live myself. But, this is actually kind of crazy for me to think about this. 100 years is only 36,500 days. That actually is a very small number if you think about it. Like, that's actually kind of just like, for me right now, as I did that math, I'm like, holy cow, I thought that number was actually a lot bigger. The hours goes up significantly. If you do the hours, that's, not quite a million. But we don't have infinity here on this earth. We've got, if you're talking life expectancy, according to statistics, that's like 70, 80 years. Me, I choose to put it as, yeah, we got 100 years here. Are you actually using that time? Are you actually building your dream? Are you actually saying, hey, today has to count? Like that actually, this is crazy. Just doing that very simple math put a very strong sense of urgency into my soul. I'm like, only like not even 50,000 days on earth. What?